Hi everybody, this is a blue and red Arcane Bombardment deck that uses Urabrask's Forge as kind of a secondary win condition. We've got some Make Disappear because a lot of people are playing big spells with big consequences. We've also got Sea Double in here to steal some of those consequences for ourselves, and then Faerie Slumber Party to kind of bounce things back to the hand and just be a little bit more bothersome for the opponent. So yeah, let's see a few games with this deck over on the ranked standard ladder. Alrighty, well, a little bit weird, but we're going to go with this one. Start off with the Restless Spire here. Love our opponent's name. Now, are they the Emperor, or are they saying, like, yes, Emperor in Russian? Uncertain. We're going to keep 2 mana up here, as they've got to consider. So probably nothing good, unless they go for a Delver here. They do not. Yeah, this is likely mono blue from the opponent. So here we can hold up Quick Study or our other 2 spells. Nothing. Let's throw this Quick Study out, see if that baits out a counterspell. Big Score, the more important card draw. Nope, they let that one through. All right, well, let's pass it back. Keep up this 4 mana for Big Score. Emperor laying down another island. Let's go for the Big Score here. I find it really hard to believe they don't have another counterspell. We'll discard Field of Ruin. There it is. Had the negate the whole time. Well, if memory serves, they don't play a whole lot of negates. So hopefully that was their only one. 5 mana. They go with a Teferi. Well, we've got a counter of our own. We'll make disappear that. Interesting alternate art on that Teferi, I will say. Oh yeah, Curse of Hospitality. Well, since we didn't draw the land, it's Curse for us, and we can still keep up a Make Disappear and a Lightning Strike. If only the Djinn had 1 less toughness. There he is. All right. Well, we guessed correctly. The question is, can we deal with this? I think we got to slam this burn down the house and see if we can squeeze that through. It's kind of our only option here. Opponent having to think they've got to Make Disappear for us. All right. Djinn up to a 3/4. Teferi comes down, as we are tapped out. So Slumber Party could deal with a token, but they just opt for the card draw. Okay, Urabrask's Forge is pretty good. Lets us keep 2 mana up. If we need to, we might have to Lightning Strike Teferi. Let's point this Forge at our opponent for now. Just to get the curse. Ooh, and there's a negate. Just checking. Yeah, okay. Well, that's too bad. According to Curse, we can't use negate. It goes away. Yep, there it is. That would be wonderful if we got to keep that stuff. Okay, Teferi makes the token.
Nobody knows the past better than me.
And Tolarian Terror. All right, well, all this does still fit under a burn down the house, so we might have to go digging for that. Djinn comes over. Another Djinn. All right. Oh, what a top deck. I was going to say, we're going to have to dig up a burn down the house from the grave, but not when you can slide one through right there. Okay. Good game. All right. Well, the season restarted on me. As you can see, we're here in silver. Shouldn't take us too long to get out of here, but... All right, opponent's got a Restless Cottage. So this is more like what we were seeing before the last season ended in October. Restless Cottage, probably one of the better Restless lands that we've seen so far. Yeah, this is looking pretty standard. Got the Mosswood Dread Knight over there. All right, we're just going to go land pass. So the Dread Knight, just a great value engine, kind of like Tenacious Underdog. Is sort of what the feeling is like, at least on the other end. I haven't played with the Dread Knight too much. Opponent plays the 3rd land. Yeah, and 3 damage on a 2-drop creature, nothing to sneeze at. If you let it go too long, then that threatens to take you out. Let's counter this Glissa Sunslayer from our opponent. Don't want them to have any repeatable enchantment removal, and she draws cards. Let's hold off on the play with fire for this Dread Knight. We are in firm big score territory right now. Okay, opponent coming over for the attack. Down to 14. Restless Cottage, super annoying for anybody that depends on the graveyard. Much like the Graveyard Trespasser, which is unfortunately in the same colors. Let's try to slip a big score in here. We'll discard big score. We get Bombardment and an Island. Well, we've got the play with fire in hand. Let's get Bombardment on the board. Got 2 big scores and a make disappear down there. We're going to pass it back. Our opponent's on 4 lands, and that's it. So let's play with fire now with this spell on the stack. And no matter what we pick up, it's going to be good for us. And we got the counter. All right, so let's counter Invasion. Reusing that make disappear, kind of nice. Remove one of those Dread Knights, limiting the damage we take. And there's a Forge. Let's go Forge here. And then what we can do is save Quick Study for our opponent's turn again. Get in for 1 with this token. Pass it on back. Arena has kindly left open mana for Field of Ruin. All right, opponent coming over. Let's just take the hit from this one. Mosswood Dread Knight. Let's resolve that. Can't make disappear it. But we can now. Let's go Quick Study. We'll do make disappear on the Dread Knight. There it is. And yeah, let's big score. If we draw more spells, we can pull up that burn down the house. Ooh, only 1 spell in the top 4. We draw Brotherhood's End, but it's a sorcery. It's going to have to do. Let's clear the way here. Bombardment's going to go off. Let's get Quick Study and big score. Try to get some more instants. Nothing to make disappear here. Okay, another Forge. That's good for eventually winning the game. There's a make disappear. All right, so we do have something for our opponent's turn now. Dread Knight down. They're going to be able to adventure that next turn. And we got plenty of mana thanks to these treasures. I think we're safe to play this Forge here. So we can keep Field of Ruin up. We've got enough mana for both Make Disappear and Field of Ruin. Drop our opponent to 15 with this attack. Double Forge tokens. Pass it on over here. So if the opponent does get an untapped land, they can start attacking with that cottage. No, let's Make Disappear. They've got Phyrexian Fleshgorger. Say no thank you to that. All right. There we go. Opponent's had enough. Good game. All right, we're going to keep this. Got the classic Play with Fire Arcane Bombardment combination. We just need to pick up a big score to kind of accelerate us along the way. Opponent with an Evolved Sleeper. Haven't seen as much of him lately. Go ahead and Play with Fire that off the board. Opponent drops a land, another Sleeper. Let's see what else they do here. Nothing. All right, let's Play with Fire the Sleeper again. Deja vu all over again for the opponent. We draw Brotherhood's End. Kind of need to pick up a land here if we're gonna get anywhere. Keep up this Make Disappear. This is usually like a Liliana turn for our mono black friends. Right on time. It's either that or Graveyard Trespasser, to be honest. You kind of know what you're up against. All right, let's play Otawara out as a land. That's our draw for the turn. We can finally see double. Let's see if our opponent does anything worth doubling. Lord Skitter from the opponent. Tempting, but no. All right, they're going to be able to pick something out of the graveyard. They take a Play with Fire. We'll just take our turn here. Abrade the draw, but Brotherhood's End hits everything. Let's get that in the grave and pass it on back. So opponent could start hitting us with this Mishra's Forge here. Or Mishra's Foundry. Isn't Forge a different thing? Alright, they bring us to 18 with that attack from the land. Land number 5, that's good. Come on, deck, we need some of that card draw that's hiding in here. Evolved Sleeper number 3. Well, unfortunately, they're probably going to be able to get some activations out of this one. No, they're bringing the Foundry over. Alright, well, it's only 2. Let's just take it. Alright, no other surprises. Well, in that case, let's Abrade the Sleeper. Like, I'm okay with continuing to take 2 from the Foundry if that's what it's going to be, but the Sleeper's going to let them draw cards, and we're kind of in parity mode here. We both got like 3 cards in hand. Opponent with a Graveyard Trespasser. Alright, let's let that resolve. Go to pick out something from the grave. They take our other Play with Fire. Oh, okay, Restless Spire. It's a tap land, but it's land number 6. Unfortunately, that flips over the Trespasser into the Glutton, so they're going to be able to take 2 cards out of our graveyard. We're going to have to kind of rebuild that, do a little work to get that back up at a useful level for bombardment. So, all right, opponent goes to attacks. Takes the Abrade and the Make Disappear. Oh, sorry, the Brotherhood's End and the Make Disappear. All right, well, we might just have to do this. It's going to cost us a card still, but let's toss Play with Fire to the ward cost on this Graveyard Glutton. Submit 1 as we try to double it. Well, at least we're going to gain a little bit of life out of this transaction. Let's take Skitter and one of the Sleepers. Eat those out of our opponent's grave. Glutton a little big for cut down if that's what they've been hanging on to. Go for the throat. No, they're going to pay the ward cost on it. All right, well, they're able to do that. Not too much of a drawback with that Tenacious Underdog. Well, I think we got to go for it here. Got to slam this bombardment while we can. We're kind of at a good window. Ooh, going to take a bit of damage, though, thanks to that Underdog coming down. And we'll see what they decide to eat here. Eats the Sea Double and the Abrade. All right, so Quick Study is going to have to find us a little something to do here. Hopefully we can get a little tricky and protect ourselves, since they're going to have a hasty Underdog. They're going to have this Mishra's Foundry to come over. Just a land here. All right, Quick Study. What do you got for me? Picks up the only spell left in the grave. Let's scry another Quick Study. Okay, we'll keep that. So we know we've got to play with fire under there. That can take care of either a Foundry or an Underdog, and they don't really have the mana to do both. Alternatively, we could Field of Ruin something. Oh, good, and that was 2 spells, so the Graveyard Trespasser flips back over into the 3/3. All right, Tenacious Underdog. Playing that for the Blitz cost, and... oh, and that's it. All right, this might be a little easier. Let's Quick Study with this trigger from the Trespasser on the stack. We'll go Quick Study. Play with fire. Save the damage from the Underdog by targeting that. Quick Study number 1 draws us 2. Faerie Slumber Party, one of those cards, plus a Make Disappear. Hits us down to 2. Another Trespasser. Goes for our graveyard. Okay. I think they had a few creatures of their own. Yeah, they still had creatures. They could have eaten some of those for some extra damages. Although not enough to finish us. Let's play this land out here. Oh, this Slumber Party is going to let them hit those triggers again, though. I think we kind of got to go for it. It's going to get us a quick study and a play with fire. We can stack this right. Brotherhood's End too slow, although that does kind of take care of our problems. Warcrafting and a quick study. Okay. All right, well, it's still day. We've got to make disappear in hand. If we can stack this up right, we might be able to counter if they play both Trespassers back out again. We might be able to counter one of them. Let's see what they decide to do here. This is going to be close. Okay, Virtue on a Faerie token. All right, that's acceptable. Trespasser number 1. Do we make disappear this, or do we wait? Oh, sorry, just thinking about this. So we're not going to die to this one. That's guaranteed. Eats the Slumber Party. Sure. Still not eating their own graveyard. Okay, Trespasser number 2. Now we can guaranteed make disappear this. Bombardment activates. We get a quick study and a play with fire. We'll do the same trick to scry. Oh, yep, I think we're past make disappear being useful now. Draw 2, there's a forge. Counters the second Trespasser. All right, this is still going to be close. Okay. Let's go Warcrafting on the Trespasser. Yes, I'm sure we've got plenty of lands we can discard to that ability. Get rid of this Reef. We'll do quick study and then play with fire last. Get the scry. Mountain, put that on the bottom. Quick study draws us into C double as Warcrafting takes care of the Trespasser. Nothing but lands on the top, unfortunately. All right. We have an instant in hand. We've got Field of Ruin on the board. We have a creature land on the board. What do you got for me, opponent? Virtue. That's going to be an issue. But only 2 mana left after that. So if this might be their only thing for the turn. We might be able to do 2 things here. Let's Field of Ruin on the creature land, so take care of that Foundry. That's going to give us an untapped land back. And I think we might be able to... All right, let's go. Let's go C double. We can do both modes because our opponent's graveyard is full enough. Might as well just pick this token. Yeah, actually, we might just have to make disappear this Virtue. So let's go... let's target Virtue of Persistence with the make disappear. Oh, that's a shame. We could have copied it, but I kind of don't want them to have it a little more. We'll do Virtue, yes. So this is the casualty copy. So they guaranteed can't pay enough to get the Virtue down. Unfortunately, I think that means that it will no longer be visible to our C double, and so we won't get the copy that way, but we needed this stack of stuff under Bombardment to go off. All right, we're set to counter, we're set to draw. I think we've taken up our opponent's big play and hopefully their only play for the turn. Play with fire. I'm going to scry that land away. Quick study gets us another Field of Ruin and a Warcrafting. And... oh, an opponent's got a regular cost underdog they put out. All right. Well, let's go Warcrafting on the underdog. Since it's a sorcery. All right, so we've got a C double under there now. We're going to go quick study. We're going to go play with fire on our opponent. Now we're going to go C double, both modes. Copying play with fire. Let's throw that at the underdog. No, actually, wait a minute. Our opponent's at 6. Hold on a second. I'm going to point that at our opponent. You can keep your underdog. Oh, and there's a lightning strike on the top. Oh, and we're going to draw into it with quick study? Oh, wow. Curse of Hospitality all day long. I will take that off the top. But we just drew a lightning strike, and that's enough burn to win. Good game. Oh, look at that hand. Yeah, we're going to try this. Double lightning strike for the early game. We need one more land to hit our quick study. And then it's off to the races with big score, and we hopefully get to do it all over again. Opponent starts us off with a Kumano Faces Kakazan. We got red and green colors over there. Love the username for our opponent. They hit us with a play with fire. Keeps one on the top. Going to play out this mountain. Keep up our lightning strike here for whatever our opponent does next. Kumano flips over. A Samut. Well, that is too much card advantage. We're going to lightning strike that. Don't need our opponent drawing free cards just for hitting me in the face. Let's go with land number 3 here. Lightning strike if they've got something scary. Otherwise, we can quick study. Opponent doing some calculations. Questing Druid. So they're going to skip over the quest for the beast and just put the Druid out. Ah, because they've got a monstrous rage. I think we just let that go. Like they're not even attacking with it this turn, and that can allow us to quick study, get some more cards, and hopefully keep the lands coming. All right, well, we knew we had land number 4. We got a big score or 2 in hand. Let's do Lightning Strike on our opponent now. We've got Make Disappear if our opponent makes any big plays, and if they keep playing small little creatures, then it might not be the worst for us. Ooh, opponent's got the Audacity, so can't really counter that effectively. There's the Monstrous Rage. Still can't counter that. Makes Kumano a 7-3, dropping us to 6. Restless Spire off the top. Play that up to 5 lands. Yeah, let's go ahead and big score. Let's put this C double away. All right, there's an Abrade. That's just enough to take care of Kumano. Let's do it now before they can draw any kind of protection for their creature. So Audacity is going to draw them a card as it goes away. But let's hope that it was just lands off the top for them. It was 1 land and a Picnic Ruiner. All right. Let's see here. So we're at 6. They got 1 creature. Let's go big score. We're going to dump C double one more time. We draw Brotherhood's End. Let's pass it on over here. Keeping up Make Disappear just in case they got any kind of bombs in there. Picnic Ruiner just a 2/2 at this point. All right. All right, quite the variety of spells in the graveyard here. Let's go for Arcane Bombardment now. That's why we saved our treasures on our opponent's last turn, so we could be able to either quick study or make disappear. Just a land drawn from the opponent, so this Picnic Ruiner, just a plain old 2/2. Let's do a quick study while it's on the attack. We pick up an Abrade. Well, that deals with that issue right there. Quick study going to pick us up a couple of things. Warcrafting and an island. So we know our opponent's got some hasty threats. Let's go with Urabrask's Forge here. Want to keep up some mana to cast these Make Disappears on our opponent's turn. And might as well fire up one of these Spires. Best defense is a good offense, so if we can get our opponent's life total to 0 before they draw some meaningful burn, it's going to be all the better for us. Lightning Strike on the top will keep that for sure. Pass it on back to the opponent here. Oh, wow. They've got to play with fire for us. Okay. They keep one on the top. So you're saying we need to keep Make Disappear up. All right, let's... Yeah, I think I want to do this. Let's go Brotherhood's End on damage. Just to get the bombardment activation. So we're going to go Quick Study. Finds another bombardment and a land. Let's play out our land. Let's go to combat here. Going to attack with just the Forge token. So we might need to cast both of these Make Disappears. Alright, opponent's got a Charming Scoundrel. Alright, they're going for the Wicked token, so that's free damage. We know we've got an Abrade under here. Let's go Quick Study and Abrade from the Bombardment. That'll take out the Scoundrel before the Wicked Roll token gets created. And that should, yeah, that helps us dodge the 1 damage from that roll token going away after the creature dies. Alright, still a little dicey at 2 as our opponent's got loads of hasty creatures. It's a big score to get Bombardment going again. Quick Study. And we declined. I guess we could have used C double to double up big score there. Let's go with Curse of Hospitality. Pass it to the opponent here after attacking with the Forge. Brings them to 8. Curse happens, just a land. That's okay. Ooh, unlucky opponent, just a land. Okay, we draw another Spire. Let's go Field of Ruin. Yeah, I think Brotherhood's End, it's a little too slow for these hasty creatures, but we can at least activate Bombardment with it. We get a Lightning Strike off the top. Ooh, and we can see double copy target spell, yes. That's another Lightning Strike. Did that work? A Quick Study for sure. Okay, that did work. It just doesn't create the copy until it gets to that part of the stack. Okay. Alright, so 2 Lightning Strikes brings our opponent to 2, and I think this Forge token is going to be a 4-1. More than enough. We somehow dodged that one. Good game. Alright, well, this looks like an annoying hand. Let's throw that one back. Keep this one. We got 3 lands as opposed to 2. We probably could have made that other one work. But looking at this probable mono red deck, I'm glad we threw that back. Nothing more disheartening than sitting there with 3 Make Disappears as you draw no lands for the first, 5 turns of the game. Okay, opponent with a Feldon. Pretty standard mono red fare here. Opponent with an interesting username. Isn't that a game for the Sega Master System? It involved some enemies with some interesting projectiles. We'll just put it that way. All right, opponent going straight for the face with his play with fire. Scries 1 to the top. Okay, Feldon coming over here. I think it's worth it. We're going to play with fire there, Feldon, just to save some damage. It does let them peel 2 off the top. As they've got a monstrous rage. Luckily, they couldn't play that during combat. So they put that on the Phoenix Chick, brings it to a 2-2. Yeah, let's pass here. We've got instant responses to it. Not worth getting the Forge out just yet against this deck, as they play a Kumano. I will say the nice thing about Forge is it's cheap enough that we can do other things in the same turn. Let's Lightning Strike that chick away as they go to combat. Pick up a nice land off the top. Yeah, luckily nothing else from the opponent. They might be stockpiling some burn here. Opponent with land number... Ooh, Thundering Raiju. Ugh. It's going to come in just out of range of our Lightning Strike, unfortunately, thanks to the etching. Or it's not an etching yet, it's a Saga still. Okay, it's going to put a counter on itself too, bring it up to 5/5, but doesn't give us the damage trigger, luckily. Still fits under Warcrafting. Let's go ahead and take care of that. But we know we're facing 2 damage from this etching that's flipping over this turn. The opponent still has 3 cards to go. Rampaging Raptor, huh? Trample, haste, 4/4. Wow. Yeah, okay. Let's we gotta do this. Lightning Strike on Kumano. Taking 4, drop into 3. Play with fire the draw. Just got to pass it on back here. We might have to use C double as a combat trick. And hope that they don't have a Lightning Strike in hand. All right. Let's give it a shot. Okay, we have a copy of a Raptor. Do they have enough burn to kill this? They don't, but they can give it trample, so we're on the hook for 2 damage here. Drop into 1 as we eliminate the dinosaur threat. Okay, well, plenty of mana here, I think. No, let's go with a Spire instead. We need to pull something nice off the top of our library. Ugh, quick study. I think that's okay. It's not good. I mean, it's not great. It's okay. It lets us redraw, and it's cheap enough where we can still keep up mana for other things. Opponent with a land. What are those 2 cards? More Monstrous Rage? Okay, quick study finds us more lands. We'll put out that Spire. Keeping up these play with fires in case they've got something like a Charming Scoundrel or another Feldon. All right, I think we've got enough mana for this now. Let's get the Forge out. Ever so slightly turning the tide against our mono-red opponent. There's a creature land. They've got the Foundry, but that's... No, that doesn't work. Just played it, so it's not coming over just yet. It's okay. I get the sense they didn't have much else to do right away. They're going to pump it up anyway. Or attempt to pump itself up. Don't think that worked. All right, well, we were gonna field a ruin that anyway, so let's go ahead and take care of that. Improve our draw slightly. Opponent adding a red mana. All right, well, luckily I remembered to put basic lands in this, so we do have something to get for ourselves. As we pull Warcrafting off the top. Okay. Well, let's fire up a Spire. Yep, let's go to combat. Gonna hit our opponent for 4. Brotherhood's End, no thank you on the top. Found by the Spire. Put that on the bottom and drop our opponent to 13. Any burn spell off the top. We are pretty much done for. Let's get a Field of Ruin out as some insurance against future creature lands. Gonna fire up a Spire to go with this Forge token. Hitting our opponent for 5 this time. Lightning Strike on the top. I think we're keeping that. That kind of speeds up our clock. Okay. Forge token goes away. Opponent with a land. What are those 2 cards? I can't imagine. Alright, well, in a strange reversal of fortune here, let's fire off these Play with Fire. We know we're going to keep Lightning Strike on the top. This brings our opponent to 4. Should put us within range between our creature lands, our Lightning Strike, and our Forge. So just as some insurance, let's fire up a Spire to go with it. Looks like they might have something. Let's do a second Spire as well. We still have Lightning Strike mana. Get a couple of scries. And no, opponent didn't have anything. Good game.